Welcome back for the second half between Mechanicville and Greenwich in this second week of the Section 2 football season. I'm Ben Myers for the Sidelines vlog and TimesUnion.com, of course. Totals from the first half, we only were off by just a slight margin. Finaro has 8 carries for 68 for Mechanicville. It's the only major change. Minor with 2 carries for 10. And then through the air, Semino has 6 attempts, 4 completions for 54 yards for Mechanicville. They'll start with the ball in the second half. So Finaro gets the handle about the 25, gets it over the 30, over the 35, about the 37-yard line. So that's where Mechanicville will get things started. For the Greenwich, Almy, 13 carries for 40 yards. Is the major contributor thus far for the Witches. Also helping him out is Truax, who has 3 carries for 22. And through the air is Drew, who is 5 for 6 for 57 yards, hit 4 different receivers with passes in the first half. So Semino brings him out, Minor's the up back, and Finaro is the setback in the eye. He has 2 to the left, 1 in tight, 1 out wide, and he's going to hand off to Finaro trying the left edge to get things started. Gets the corner, gets about 4 before he's knocked out of bounds. Actually, they're going to say he was inbounds, so Finaro starts things off with a 4-yard gain for Mechanicville. Penalty yards in the first half of what hurt Mechanicville. They had 4 penalties. One came at a really tough time for 20 yards of negative offense. I'm going to give him a 4-yard gain for Finaro on that first one. 11:22 left in the third quarter. And now they're going to go to Finaro off the right side now. Or excuse me, that's not Finaro. That was Adam Dunn who got the carry at that time. 5 instead of 15. And he'll get about 6 more. I don't know, about 4 more, I guess, finally is where they're going to mark him down. So 4 more for him. He has 2 carries for 7 yards thus far. But 4 penalties for 20 yards in the wrong direction for Mechanicville. They had a field goal that they couldn't even get the kick away, and then they ran out of time at the end of the first half. It is 7-0 Greenwich. So the wishbone backfield, they're going to hand it off to Dunn on the right side. He's going to get over the sideline there, or over toward the sideline there, and get it across the 45. Going to be a first down for Mechanicville. I'm going to give Dunn an 8-yard carry on that one, so he's up to 15 yards on 3 carries. 2 of them coming right here in successive plays. So like we said, field goal that they didn't even get the kick away for Mechanicville. And then they ran out of time at the end of the first half when they were driving towards a score right at the end of the period. So again, the wishbone in the backfield for Mechanicville. They didn't run this in the first half. Ran a lot of straight eye formation. They're going to run left with Finaro, but good penetration, and they're going to make the play in the backfield. First man on the scene was Curtis Taylor for Greenwich. So Taylor throws them for about an 8-yard loss on the play. So about 8 yards lost. 10 minutes to go in the third period for the Red Raiders. Looking at a 2nd and 18 from their own 43-yard line. Straight eye this time. Finaro's a setback, 2 to the right for Semino. Looks over to defense, takes the snap. Counter play off to the right to Finaro, slips a tackle, and he has the corner. And he's going to be thrown out of bounds, and a flag comes in late. So we'll see what the call is on this one. Looked like it could have been up near a horse collar. But we're going to have, instead, holding against the Red Raiders, so it's going to negate the play. So they're going to, looks like they're actually going to decline the penalty.
Holding against Mechanical. Penalty is declined.
So penalty will be declined, and Finaro will be credited with, it looks like he just got back to the line of scrimmage. No, now they're going to move the yard mark. A 4-yard gain for Finaro on that one. So it'll be 3rd and about 14 for Mechanicville. Ball marked at their own 42-yard line. Or excuse me, on the wrong side of the yard mark there. The ball is going to be marked on their 46-yard line. 3rd and about 14 for the Red Raiders as they come to the line. 9:23, now 22 left in the third period. Straight eye, 1 split wide, 1 in tight for Mechanicville. Looking for a screenplay according to the Mechanicville or Greenwich defense. Instead, it's going to be a pass over the middle and go through the hands of Dunn and go incomplete. So that'll bring up 4th down for Mechanicville. They're going to be forced to punt away on their first possession of the 3rd period. I'm Ben Myers for Sidelines blog at timesuni.com as you watch and listen. 2nd week of the season thus far. In the Section 2 year, Mechanicville comes in 1-0 with a win over Section 3 Sequoia Valley last week. Greenwich lost to Tamarack 28-20 in overtime in week 1. So DeSella gets the kick away for Mechanicville, gets it into the corner. Looks like it's going to be right around the 20-yard line. Finally rolls dead, or it's actually touchdown there. So we're going to see where they're going to mark it. Just outside of 20, probably about the 22-yard line. Get things started for Greenwich on their first possession in the second half. 8:54 left in the period. As you listen and watch on the Sidelines blog at timesuni.com, I'm Ben Myers. Thanks for joining us tonight. 7-0, Greenwich out in front on a 1-yard touchdown carry by Almy, back in on the first play of the 2nd quarter. Almy 13 carries for 40 yards thus far. He had 160 last week against Tamarack. So they're going to toss it to him on the left side. He has one man to beat. He does beat Don along the left edge. Finally knocked down. Big gain though on the first play from scrimmage for the Greenwich running back. So he goes out from the 22 all the way over to the 35-yard line. So all the way to the 40-yard line. So a 17-yard gain for Almy on his first carry of the second half. He's up to 57 yards on the night. 8.5 left in the 3rd period. Shotgun set with 2 to the right, 1 to the left for Drew. Has 2 men with him in the backfield. He's going to hand off to one of them, and he's going right ahead and coming right at you. Runs over a Red Raider is Truax. And Truax is over the 50 into Mechanicville territory, so a 13-yard run on the play for the fullback, and he's up to 35 on the night, 4 carries, and already 35 yards for the fullback of the Witches. 8:09 left in the 3rd period, 7-0 Greenwich out in front. They've ripped off 30 yards on their first 2 plays of the second half. And this time Drew's going to go to the line, I formation behind him, 2 to the right, 1 to the left. They're going to hand off to Almy trying the left edge, and he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and only maybe 1 or 2, not much there. Actually, they're going to say he fell forward even further, so they're going to give him about 4 yards on the carry. So bring up a 2nd and 6 from the from the Mechanicville 40-yard line. 3 rushes, 34 yards of offense on the first 3 plays of the second half for Greenwich. They break the line, they break the huddle and come to the line. 2 to the right, 1 to the left. I formation behind Drew as he looks over the defense. Calls out a play, but they are going to run it with Drew right up the middle. It looks like either somebody missed a check down there or just some kind of miscommunication there as the quarterback was forced to just tuck it and run.
No gain on the play.
So actually it looks like Drew's going to lose a yard on the play and bring up 3rd and about 6.5 for Greenwich. Ball marked at the Mechanicville 41-yard line. 6:40 to go in the 3rd period. Drew gets a play from the sidelines, brings it in. Shotgun form as he comes to the line, 2 to the right, 1 to the left. 2 backs in the backfield with him. He's going to throw out to the right, passes up. He has a man there, and it'll be overthrown and incomplete. Intended on the play for Greg Scott. That's going to bring up 4th down for Greenwich, and they're going to punt this one away with 6:15 left in the 3rd period.
4th down 5.
So Dunn and Finaro back to return the punt. Looks like they're going to have to wipe off the football here as the condensation starts to make its presence felt in Greenwich. 6:15 left in the third quarter. 4th and 6, right around the Mechanicville 40-41 yard line. In the kick is Flynn for Greenwich. Snap is high, and he makes a nice catch and does get the kick away. Not a bad one either. Bounces end over end. But since he had to run back an extra 5 yards to get it, that punt is only going to net about 10 yards. And Mechanicville is going to have a chance to start at their own 30-yard line with 6:05 left in the third quarter. You're listening and watching to Sidelines at TimesUnion.com. We'll be back with the rest of the third quarter in just a moment.